Right. I'll get you to start in a forward fold. So set up your knees so they're a little bit wider than hip distance. Very good. And then untuck your toes behind you and start to bring your bottom onto your heels. Good. And then with your hand, grab the front of your shin and pull the skin at the front of the shin forward so that you've got a stretch in your shin. Great. Then just go forwards until your head touches the mat. Or if that's difficult, you can put a little towel in front of your head. That's good. Now, your feet are actually together, Robin. So bring your feet towards each other. Yes, and then your knees are a bit wider, if that makes sense. Yes, good. Okay, can you hear me now, Roger?
I can see and hear you now.
Excellent, good. And Connie, I'm not sure whether you can hear me or not yet, but maybe write in the chat, Connie, if you have any issues. So that's good. Yeah, I can actually use that mirror behind you to check what you're doing. Oh, does that work that well?
That's not on purpose.
Okay, so it's going to look from side on a bit like this. So your feet go out and then your feet are together, knees a little bit wider, and then folding backwards, head down. Walk your fingers forwards to get length in your armpits. Very good. And then breathing into your diaphragm, which is at the bottom of your lower ribs. You should find it's easier to do that once you're in that position. That's good. Cats and dogs. Very good. Okay. Now, does everyone have a chair they can use today? That's one thing I was going to do. Just like a normal, any chair that's sort of like a dining room chair. So I've got this, but any kind of chair is fine. So maybe if you don't have it near you, just grab it and then, perfect, that's good. Yeah, we're going to be using that a fair bit today, so we'll need that. Okay. Andrea, can you hear me now? No. Oh, that's okay. Good. Okay, so once everyone has their chair, we'll get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on our legs today, but through the legs, it's going to help our back actually. So it's actually more for the back, but the leg is going to help. So the first thing we're going to do is set your chair up on your right side. So everyone's kind of got it right already. Plant your left foot down and then place your right foot on the edge of the chair so that your foot is pointing perpendicular. Okay? And then we're going to, hello?
Hello. Sorry,
So grab a chair. We're going to start doing some stuff with some chair work first. So, yeah, good. So your right foot is going to go on the edge of the chair. Your left foot is on the floor. and your right foot is externally rotated. Okay, now with your hands, bring your arms up. If you don't have any shoulder issues, bring your arms up over your head so that your biceps are next to your ears. And then straighten out that left leg so that it's stiff, like a poker. And we're going to hold this for about 3 to 5 breaths. Now, what you want to get, notice in your standing knee, you want a nice 90-degree angle. So I see a few of these. Try and maybe step your foot out a bit more if your knee's bent too much. So that's probably your knee, Roger. Just a little bit more down the chair. Yes, better. Good. Okay, then we come down. We're going to swap to the other side. So bring the chair to your left side now. Good. Right foot down, left foot onto the side of the chair. Externally rotate the leg. Your foot should be in line with the arch on the right foot. Your heel, sorry, is in line with the arch. Aim to get a nice perpendicular shape in the left leg. Slowly bring the arms up overhead. Straighten the right leg. Your right quadricep should start to feel quite tight. Everything is moving up through the right leg. You'll feel most of the weight in the right foot. Excellent. Really good. I'll just check in with Adrienne and see if she's still. So keep that up. Okay, and then slowly bring the arms down. All right, so that was a setup for, we call it the tree pose. So now you're going to turn your chair the other way so that the head of the chair is closest to you. Okay, good. And I want you to start off just with the sole of your foot going into the side of your calf muscle. Start with that first. Okay, hold on to the chair, and then if you see me, notice how my hip, most people, their hip is going to start to fall out. Bring that hip back in by engaging your right glute. Then, once you're here, stay holding onto the chair, bring the other arm up over your head. You should feel like your weight is still centered on that right foot. Now, if you're game, you can bring other hand over your head. If you're game, up to you. But it's better to hold on if you feel like you're not steady. Yeah, you should be aiming to feel like the weight is sticking into the mat. Beautiful. Lift the elbows, very good, and then coming down. Okay, now we're going to try the other side. So, there she is. Okay, so plant the left foot down, the right foot goes into the calf muscle on the left foot. Your left hand holds on. Now remember that external rotation we had before on the chair. We want the same external rotation, no knees pointing forwards. This opens up the hip, then bring the right arm up overhead. Very good. And then inhale, and if you want to, bring the other arm up overhead. That's looking really good, guys. That's all right, Roger, try again. That's good, Brooke. So, focus from the bottom up. Yeah, it's a tree pose because the roots are the most important part. Great, and then slowly coming down. Okay, now we're going to do a warrior two, but with the chair. So flip the chair around so that the seat is facing you. Okay, now we start again in the pose we had before. So the right foot goes on the side of the chair, nice 90-degree angle. Yep, good. And then With your left foot, just step out a little bit more. Good. Now, you want to keep that 90-degree angle, but your left foot is now angled outwards somewhat. You're going to feel some tautness in your left glute. Once we're here, our arms are going to go out at 90 degrees. Now, the tendency most people have is they shrug their shoulders when they do this. So let the shoulders come down, but extend the elbows outwards. Very good. That's looking good. And then turn your head to the right and look over your middle finger on the right hand. Two more breaths. Okay, and then change to the other side. So, chair goes to the left side. Left foot up on the chair. Externally rotate the knee. Your right foot goes out a little bit. Good. Make sure that you don't lose that perpendicular shape in your left knee. Beautiful. Now, keeping your body facing straight ahead, extend the arms. Brooke, your right leg can go out wider. Your right foot, yes, much better. And then bend the left knee more, yes, okay. Now turn your head over to look over your left index or middle finger. You should feel a stretch in the right groin. That means you're doing it right. Lift the chest, but drop the shoulders. Two more breaths. Very good. Okay, and then coming down. Now, we're going to do the same pose, but without the chair as the support. But we're still going to use the chair as an aid for our alignment. So set up the chair a little bit further to the right side. Good. Spread your legs fairly wide, maybe about 4 feet apart. Turn your right foot so that it's facing the chair. Okay? Your foot should be just under the edge of the chair. Yeah? Now, same as before, we're going to bend the right knee until our knee touches the seat of the chair. Now you feel much more work in the right leg. Now the key here is not to forget the trailing leg. So you need to activate the glute as well as the external rotation of the left leg so that there's a balance between right and left. But this is very helpful to tell us how far we need to bend the knee. So if you're feeling like it's burning in your right quad, that's good. Arms go out straight. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Let the shoulders drop. Chest lifting. 2 more breaths. I know it's hard work. And then straighten the legs. Very good work. Swap sides. So set up the chair on the left side now. Your left foot is just under the edge of the chair. Your right foot is about 4 feet away, 3.5 feet away. Bend the left foot, bend the left knee until the knee touches the edge of the chair. You're aiming for a 90-degree angle. So Brooke, your feet are a bit too close together. Yeah. That's better. And then extend the arms. Let the shoulders drop. Turn your head to the left. 2 more breaths. And then straighten the left leg. Very good. Nice. Okay, we're still using the chair. This time, we're going to use the head of the chair to support as we go into a half forward fold. So what we're doing is, I'm going to set up about 1 meter away from the back of the chair. My hands reach the chair, and then I keep stepping back until I'm in an inverted L shape. Now, in this position, the areas that I want to focus on are 1, activating my quadriceps, 2, pulling my hips back, but without overarching my lower spine. So you don't want to overdo your lumbar extension. That's good. Have a look at what everyone's doing. Your feet can be a little bit wider, Brooke. I think they're a bit close. Yeah, much better. That's good. And that's good there, Robin. You're not overextending. That's good. What you can do is try to let your thoracic spine now move more towards the front of your chest, if that makes sense. So you're letting your thoracic spine drop down. Yes, that's good, Roger. Very good. Yeah, so we're going to hold this for a few more breaths, and then we're going to do something fun. And by fun, I mean hard. That's great. Keep extending your arms forwards, just like you did when you were standing. Very good. Okay, and then slowly coming up. Great. So, what we're going to try now is we're going to do, most of you may have heard of downward dog and upward dog, but they're quite hard to do properly because no one teaches it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use the front of the chair to try and reduce the amount of pressure on our legs and on our hips. So if you watch what I'm doing first, my hands are on the sides of the chair, sort of like this, okay? So thumbs forwards, hands around the chair. I then start to walk backwards until I'm about maybe 1 meter away from the chair. And then we're doing the exact same thing we did before, except that the point of contact for our upper limbs is a little bit lower. Now, what I want you to imagine is your hips, that there's a cut here, pulling your hips backwards so that you get length in your hamstrings, but also in your lumbar spine. So try that. So hands on the chair, slowly start to walk backwards, and then keep your feet about hip width apart, toes facing forwards, and visualize someone pulling your hips backwards while your arms continue to move forwards. Your elbows are next to your ears. That's good. Really good. So Roger, I would bend your knees a touch so that you can bring your hips up towards the ceiling a bit more, if that makes sense. Yes, much better. You'll feel it more in your lower spine now. That's good. And in fact, everyone give that a go. Bend your knees so that you can do, so everyone's sort of here, just to show you, everyone's sort of here. So bend the knees so then you can scoot your hips back. Then if you want to, you can straighten your legs out. You'll find that you get a lot more extension in the lower spine. That's good. Yeah. Okay, that's probably long enough. So start to step forwards and stand up slowly. Okay, so then we're going to do the opposite of that. So the downward dog is a bit of a spinal flexion. The upward dog is more of a spinal extension. The issue with this upward dog is that everyone tends to do it too much in the sacrum, in the lower spine, when actually it's an extension from your thoracic. So instead, you're actually aiming for more of this action here. So the way we're going to do that is, same thing as before with the chair, but we're going to step back until we're in kind of like a push-up position. And then, while keeping my arms straight, I start to go forwards and bring my chest forwards. So the goal is to have the chest hit the top of the chair, if that makes sense. So just try that. So keeping your arms nice and strong, slowly bring your hips forwards, but bring your chest forwards more than your hips. You'll feel an opening in your chest once you get to the extended point. Very good. That's looking really good there. Now, your shoulders should drop down though, Brooke. So what's happening is, it's the same as in the Warrior 2. This is happening. Can you see how the shoulders are in the neck? So you want the shoulders to actually come down so that you can open your chest more. So same with everyone else. Don't let your shoulders go into your ears. Bring the shoulder blades down your back, then extend from the chest. Yes, that looks good. Roger, if you look up a little bit more, I just want to see what your shoulders are doing. That's good. That's really nice. Looking good there. Much better, guys. Really good. So you should feel like it's not crunching into your back, yeah? It's more a chest opening that's happening there. So then everyone knows what's happening next. We're going to do a bit of a transition between the two. So you have your feet in the same position. We're going to go from down dog here through to an up dog. And then back again. And we're going to do that for maybe 5 repetitions. So inhale, you move forwards. And then exhale, you move backwards. Inhale, moving forwards. Let the shoulders drop. Exhale, moving backwards. That's good. Very good. Shoulders looking much better. Nice, slow movements. Really good. And then for extra bonus points, when you're going forwards, try and keep your quads very, very strong so that they don't sag down. Yeah, so it's almost like everything on your anterior body is switched on. Yes, really good. Really, really good, Robin. Yes, good. And then going back, let's do one more. Back to down dog, good. And then forwards through. Good. Very good control. Okay. All right, so that's everything we're going to do with the chair. So you can put your chair to the side now. Okay. We're going to just do a little forward fold. Bring your hands so your elbows are holding onto your hands are holding onto your elbows. Then bring them up over your head and then slowly start to come forwards, but keep the elbows behind your ears, behind your head. You can bend your knees a little bit if you want. And you'll feel your armpits start to lengthen. Looking really good. Yes, good shapes. It's not about how far forwards you're bending. It's actually more about how straight a line you can create in your spine. So you want more of a concave rather than a convex. If that makes sense. We'll just hold that for a few more moments. Very nice.
Okay, bring your hands towards the floor and then slowly roll your spine up from your lumbar spine through your thoracic
all the way up through to your cervical spine so that you're standing up. That's good. Okay, so we're going to go on to sitting poses now. So sit down on the floor, cross your legs, bring your right leg in front of your left leg first. Good. Now, when I sit down, I always sit up and try and pull out, it's called pulling out your sitting bones. So almost like you grab your left buttock and you pull it out so that there's a bit of space there, and then you grab your right buttock and you pull it out there, yeah? So that just gives you a bit more of an anterior tilt when you're sitting. Good. Bring your left hand onto your right knee, and then right hand goes behind your lower spine and slowly twist towards the right. Try to keep your spine as upright as possible so that it doesn't tilt one side to the other. Very good. Come to the middle. Right hand goes onto left knee. Left hand goes behind the spine and twist towards the left. Breathe gently into your diaphragm, which is the area at the base of your ribs. Let it expand in all directions. Okay, coming into midline. Slowly walk your hands forwards and fold over your crossed legs.
Your head may or may not reach the ground, that's okay. Your abdomen will rest almost on your shins.
Okay, excellent. Coming up, we'll just swap the cross of our legs now. So our left leg is in front of our right. And we're just going to balance out that forward fold one more time. So once your legs are crossed, left in front of right, start to fold forwards again.
And this time, walk your fingers forwards to try and lengthen your armpits, especially your outer armpits, through to your triceps. You should also notice
a slight stretch within your glutes on both sides too. Doing very well for times. We might put a couple of extra things. Okay, then slowly come up. All right. Now, we're going to do a bridge pose. So when we do that, I want you to just watch me first. So you're going to roll onto your back. Your heels, if possible, are going to be as close to your bottom as they can. And then your hands are going to be just right next to your heels. And slowly bring your hips up, but try to bring your buttocks towards your knees, if that makes sense. So don't do this, more of a anterior tilt of your pelvis, posterior tilt. So give that a go. So lay on your back. Okay. Heels nice and close towards your bottom. And then start to lift your sacrum off the floor and aim to get your buttocks towards your knees.
The other thing that we think of is our top bottom is moving towards our bottom, which makes very little sense. But that's the direction that you want things to go. Okay, and then slowly coming back down again. This time, when we do it, we're going to come up and then we're going to bring one leg up off the ground and then drop and then swap to the other side as well. But the whole time, we're also remembering that our buttocks are moving towards our knees. So try that, start to slowly lift up. You can grab your hands and clasp them under your bottom to open your chest a bit more. Now ground your left foot and lift your right foot up. This is hard, so if you can't do it, don't stress. Then bring your right foot down, ground your right foot, turn on your right glute and lift your left leg straight in front of you. And then down, and then come down. We're then going to do a type of spinal twist. That's good, Andrea. You can't hear us, but that's very good. Okay, so the spinal twist for this, I want you to bring your knees towards your chest as close as possible. And then I want you to bring your knees so that your knees are going towards your right armpit, if that makes sense. So instead of it going down into the side, I want you to actually really hike up your knees and then bring them across to the side. Sometimes you'll hear a nice little pop pop, which is, it's just gas. So right knees to right armpit. Bring your arms out to the side. And I'll do it so you can see from this angle. So my knees are up and then coming across like this. And then come to midline again, and we're going to go to the left side now. So knees, left armpit. And then into the middle. And we'll do one more on each side. Now, if you feel like it, the next challenge is bring your knees to your right armpit and then straighten out your top leg so that it's almost touching your hand on the right side. Probably don't do this though, I don't do it, it's too much. But if you can, you can. All right, and then over to the left side, left knees, left side. Make sure to counterbalance it by twisting your abdomen from left to right. So your knees are going one way, but your abdomen is going the other way. It's like wringing a towel. Very good for digestive issues. Okay, bring your knees into the midline. Good. Okay, and then this last one, you're going to need a wall and a pillow or a cushion. Anything is fine. If you don't, it's no biggie. You don't need they're not obligatory, but it helps. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to type it Andrea so she knows. So set up your cushion about a hand's breadth away from the wall. Yep, you can use the door, that's good. Sit on your cushion so that your hip is next to the wall. So I'm sitting on the right side of the cushion, so my left hip is against the wall, but it just depends on your location, yep? So once you're there, so make sure your hip is touching the wall. It's important, you'll see why. We're gonna go down onto our opposite shoulder while trying to keep our hips on the cushion. Once you're on your shoulder, you're going to swing your legs up onto the wall so that your heels are against the wall, your legs are up, and your hips are fairly close to the wall. Yeah, it's okay if you're a little bit further away, but you don't want to be like this far away. You start to lose the benefit in the hip flexion. So give that a go. That's good. Robin, very nice. Yeah, and you can shuffle. That's good. And then, yeah, so you can sort of scoot your hips in a bit closer, Roger. That's looking good. Yes, good. Now, once you're there, just let your legs hang heavy. They can go a little bit wider. They don't have to be touching as well. Yes, beautiful. And notice that you don't need to do any work. Your legs are sitting in your hip sockets. You find that you can breathe a lot more deeply. This tends to open the diaphragm up. And then just let your shoulders relax, let your eyes relax. You can close your eyes. Let your arms fall by your sides. Maybe turn your palms up towards the roof. It'll open up your chest a bit more. Very good. And this is excellent at the end of a day of work because you tend to develop a lot of lymphatic buildup within your lower limbs. And this will allow that to rebalance, redistribute. And just breathe nice and slowly into your diaphragm. Hips soft, feet soft. And you guys can stay here for as long or as little as you like. I think the Zoom is going to cut out at any second now, so and it does. Thanks for coming. Just let your eyebrows relax. Feel the weight in your hips. Let your legs drop down into your pelvis. Your chest expand. Everything slowing down. Slow, soft inhalation, exhalation. And just when you want to get out,